I'm Lata, and I recently joined the IIT Bombay Alumni Association as the CEO. Really exciting 1.5 months that I've had here, and a great team to work with, wonderful alumni, and it's a pleasure meeting so many of you here today. And look forward. Hopefully, you all will come to campus soon, and we will all catch up over some lovely tea. And today we are here for a wonderful service that the association has taken up for the alumni, and this is just the beginning. And today we have the formal launch of our health insurance program with Prudent, which is again founded by one of our alumni. And we have here with us Girish Nayak. I'm sure many of you know him. He's the chairman of our IITBAA, and I'm sure he needs no introduction. Absolutely energetic for the sportsman inside him, and he's a great professional with about 28 of years with ICICI. Is that correct, Girish?
29.
29. Okay. So yeah, he's a great techie who doesn't talk much of tech, which is very exciting. A very fun person to be around with. I really enjoyed working with him now, and so it's lovely. And we were expecting Ajit Dhingra from the 1972 batch, who founded the Prudent, meet this today. We are happy to have his son Gurupal Dhingra here with us to formally launch this program. So Girish, Ajit, I think is a little unwell. He's gone to the hospital. He should join us in a while. Meanwhile, Gurupal will take over, who's also part of Prudent. So over to you, Girish.
Good evening, everyone, and a warm welcome to everyone who's joined us for this event. It's been kind of long-standing demand from the alumni that we should have some kind of health insurance offering for the alumni. As many of you may be aware, we do have a health insurance offering which covers the retired faculty and their spouses, and which is provided for by the generous contributions from the various legacy projects. But so far, we've not had anything which we could offer to our members. In the last couple of years, I think, given the multiple waves of the pandemic that we've had, the need for a health insurance cover has never been more acute. So I have been with the insurance industry for the last 9 years or so, so know a bit about this, but let me give you some statistics regard to health insurance. So if you look at the Indian market, about slightly more than 500 million odd lives are covered with health insurance, but if you really take away the government insurance scheme, that takes away about 340 million of those. So if you see the private insurance, you would have about 120 million odd lives which are covered with group schemes, which is essentially the GMC or the corporate health schemes, and only around 50 odd million people who actually have individual health policies. And this is a big gap that we see that needs to be covered. Hospitalization costs are increasing, and it's very much necessary that each one has a cover for themselves and their families. I mean, I talk to my friends often about having a health insurance cover. Not that I want to sell health insurance, but just from a point of view of discussion. And often the refrain that I get is, it's also, I have my company's cover, that's good enough. Yeah, but that's good enough when you are a part of the company. But what if tomorrow you set out and set up something on your own? You'll not have the cover that. Same is the case when you retire a few years down the line. You try and get insurance cover at an older age. It's always more difficult than getting it when you're young and continuing it, because again, as per the regulation in India, once you have a cover, the insurance company has to cover you for the rest of your life once you get the cover. So there is a lot of gap that is there in individual cover, and I usually end up asking my friends to take some kind of top-up insurance which adequately covers their health insurance needs. And that's exactly what we have worked out with Prudent as an offering. And I would leave it to the Prudent team to talk to you more about that and talk about what the offering is. And of course, the team is there also to answer all your questions, which you have kind of sent to us and which you would have over the course of the presentation. But before handing over to the Prudent team, let me just give my thanks to people who made this possible. Must acknowledge the efforts of PV Krishnan, batch of 72, who volunteered to kind of drive this whole effort. He has spearheaded the team which worked on this, looking at all the options available. And PV, could you just turn on your video if you are there and say hi to everyone? Yeah, there's thanks a lot, PV, for all the effort. He's been on it for last almost 3 months, and thank you for bringing it to the stage in a time-bound manner. Along with him, also thanks due to the team from AA who worked, my fellow board members, Sudhir Nikam and Mayur Siddesai. Of course, Lata started working on this even before she joined us. She was helping us on this. And of course, Dr. Deepak Patil, who was then president and now is back to being advisor. Boss, thanks for the efforts taken. And now, without any further ado, let me hand over to the Prudent team. Thanks a lot, guys, for putting this together.
Thank you, Girish sir. Thank you very much. And thank you to the IITBAA Alumni Association for giving us this opportunity. I would request my colleague to bring up the slides so that we can quickly run you through what we have to present today. Thank you so much. So today's agenda really is, if we can move to the next slide, please. A little bit about Prudent. What is Super Top Up? Why this Super Top Up plan should suit you? What are the selection criteria of insurance companies? What are the features and comparisons of these 4 insurance companies that have been shortlisted? And what is the process flow to buy this plan? Hear yourself as far as your health insurance goes. So to give you a brief introduction of Prudent, we are amongst the largest commercial lines brokers in the country. We represent the buyer of insurance, not the seller. Currently working and representing over 3,500 corporates, about 1,250 multinationals. We're a team of close to 900 professionals, and we expect to place over 2,500 crores of premium into the direct insurance market today. We work out of 7 offices in India, and we have the capabilities to service our clients in over 120 countries. You want to move to the next slide, please? So just to give you an idea of what we do, so we represent the buyer, not the seller. And we are a market leader and amongst the top 1 or 2 players in health insurance, in property insurance, energy, engineering, credit insurance, liability insurance, marine transit, affinity aviation. And what we have done is, built a very strong digital backbone. We have a very strong technical team, the largest claims team in the country, larger than some of the, private insurance companies. And, we provided a holistic end-to-end service capability, right from, understanding the risk, designing the policies, going to market, placing, and then servicing claims and ensuring that, your team members, your colleagues have a great experience when it comes to insurance. That's what we do in a nutshell. You want to move to the next slide, please? Yeah. So I would now request my colleagues to take over on what is Super Top Up cover and how you can benefit from this plan.
So hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Suchit, and I've been a part of Prudent for the last 11 years. the whole intent here to basically give you a brief of what super top up would be of use to you is written in, on the screen, but I'll explain it to you in simple language. All of us would have basic health insurance covers for ourselves and our family members. A super top up becomes as an additional layer of insurance when your primary insurance gets exhausted. So, say for example, if I have a 5 lakh rupee individual insurance cover, I would get a super top up program with a minimum deductible of 5 lakhs, which means that if I have a claim today of say 10 lakhs, 5 lakhs my primary insurer would pay, and 5 lakhs gets then picked up by my by the insurance company, which is offering me a super top up cover. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me while I'm going to be explaining you on the covers, so that everybody else gets to understand the mindset, and we can also make it into an interactive session. Yes. What is who can buy a super top up? Any person who has any kind of a primary health insurance cover can buy a super top up. You can take a higher sum insured, which is over and above your primary insurance cover, which is your normal medical policy. In case if some of you are also covered in some group policies, you can buy the super top up program for yourself and your family members. We can design it into a family floater program for you. Any of you professionals or individuals who are covered under ESI or any government policies can also avail of a super top up policy. And any person who thinks that you can make up to a definite amount of money in case of an emergency. What does this mean? That, say for example, if you want to buy a super top up with an agreed amount of a minimum deductible, you can also avail of this policy. So the first primary deductible would be picked up from your own pocket, and over and above that, the cost would be picked up by the insurance company. Anybody has any questions? I think I see one question in the chat, so I would answer that first, and then I'll speak about the slide. So will it apply if I have an existing top up? Yes, it will apply also if you have an existing top up. So, okay, I'll make it sound simple. If anybody has an existing top up program, a super top up becomes an additional layer of coverage over and above your primary and your top up program. So it doesn't matter, say, I'll put it in a simple language again. You have a 3 lakh rupee primary insurance cover. Say you have a 3 lakh rupee top up cover, and you buy a 10 lakh rupee super top up. So when you're buying a super top up, you could probably request for a minimum deductible of 6 lakhs, so that if there is any claim up to 6 lakhs, your primary insurance policy and your top up program will take care of that claim. And anything which is spilling over 6 lakhs will be picked up by the insurer who's going to be underwriting the super top up policy for you. I hope I'm clear and everybody's understood that, in simple language. If you have any questions, you can either, unmute yourself or feel free to write on the chat.
Sujit, there is one more question.
Yes.
Is this policy a group or individual policy?
It's going to be an individual policy, sir. An individual family floater or an individual policy.
Okay, there is one more question for Ankur Sahai. Top up and super top up are same for a person with only one primary health insurance.
Yes, I know both. I would say you may ask me why. A top up is something that a person would have bought where there is when your primary insurance gets exhausted, the top up picks that up. A super top up policy is far cheaper than a top up program because there is an agreed deductible that you and I would agree to tell the insurer that, hey, listen, up to so and so amount, your program is any which is not going to be paying. So the super top up will only come into act when all your primary insurances, including your top up programs, get exhausted.
Okay. Suchit, there's one more question. There are two more questions. One is from Kirat Patel. Is there an upper limit to the policy, say 50 lakhs?
Yes. So we are going to come to that slide, sir, where I'm going to be showing you a comparative on those 4 insurance companies on what are the covers, what are the terms and conditions, and who all can you cover in your in the program.
Okay. And the last question is, will there be any waiting period in this super top-up?
Yes, there is going to be a waiting period in the program. The only reason is why, because because these programs are available at a very, very cheap cost. There is a waiting period applicable in the program, and every insurance company has defined their own waiting period. I see another question coming up, that can you have a base policy from A and a super top-up from B? Yes, it is very much possible.
So I would request all of you to please post your questions in the chat, and we have a Q&A session at the end. So all the questions will be answered over there.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right, sir. Okay.
So Suchit, you can continue, please. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Can we go to the next slide, please? Okay. So why a super top-up program? One, the costs are very, very less compared to the primary or a normal top-up program. It's a lifelong renewal, so you continue to keep renewing the program without any hindrances coming up. The premium, it doesn't depend upon the loss ratio. It only varies as per your age. So if somebody's got a super top-up plan at the age of say 65 or 70, and if someone's made a claim, the loading doesn't happen based upon the claim amount that you or one has received from the insurance company. It'll only act as per your age. So the age band is defined, and based upon the age band, the premiums keep changing on year-on-year basis or every 2 years or whatever. No room rent capping, no co-payments, and higher sum insureds are available up to a tune of 1 crore rupees for yourself or for family members all put together. Again, though these programs are available, but at the end of it, the underwriting also depends upon what health declarations or how healthy one person is, and it solely depends upon whether the insurer wants to underwrite the program or no. You can also avail tax benefits when you buy a super top-up program. And the most important point, the individual has the freedom to set the terms of the policy. So yes, based upon your declarations of what your primary insurance is, what kind of a deductible do you want in the program, the premium would also depend upon that. Kushal, can we go to the next slide in case you're running it? All right. What we've done is that with our constant interactions with you, we finally come down to 4 insurance companies where we've designed an exclusive program for all of you. There are various sum insured options that one can select up to a maximum tune of 1 crore. Again, there is no co-payment in the policy, so if there is any claim, there won't be any deductible in the claim unless your primary cover has any deductible. Parents can be included in the same policy. There is absolutely no room rent capping along with ICU room rent restrictions. The premiums are very, very low in nature. There is a minimum waiting period, which is disease-wise and pre-existing diseases, which are defined by the insurance company. And there is no medical screening required. That is a very, very great advantage to all of us. Why? Because one, with looking at all of our respective age, we don't want to take the hassle of asking anybody to go in for any medical. So these are the 4 insurance companies that we've shortlisted and made it as a proposal for the alumni members. So I'll start with Bajaj Allianz. Bajaj says up to 60 years, I will not, I'm okay if nobody wants to go in for medical. They are allowing employees, spouse, children and parents between 18 to 80 years to be covered. Their sum insured starts from 3 lakhs and ends at 50. They have a deductible option where somebody can choose where you want a deductible of 2 lakhs, 3 lakhs, 5 lakhs or 10 lakhs in the program, and then the premium would again be dependent upon the deductible that one chooses. Room rent, There is no restriction, is up to the sum insured limit. Same as with the ICU. There is a 30-day waiting period in case if so because you guys will be purchasing this super top up for the first time, there's going to be a 30-day waiting period applicable. All daycare treatments are covered in the program. There's a defined list which we can share with you, but again, every insurer has their own definitions of a daycare treatment. There is no disease-wise capping. Restore benefit. So in case if somebody is exhausted their super top up sum insured, you can't restore it again till the renewal. So that option is not available with Bajaj. Disease-wise capping, there is a disease-wise waiting period. Yes, there is a 12-month waiting period on certain diseases that again will be shared with you in a document. There is also a waiting period of 12 months or a year for pre-existing diseases. There are no co-pays in the program. There is a pre and a post-hospitalization benefit that is available pre 60 days and post 90 days. So what happens here is that any treatment that you've taken, any expenses that you made before one has got hospitalized, up to 60 days of your pre-hospitalization expenses get covered, and post your discharge of the patient, any expenses related to that particular treatment gets covered up to a tune of 90 days. There is an ambulance cover also available in this plan. It's a lifelong renewal of the program. So, you don't need to be worried that if I make a claim, will the insurer allow me to renew the policy next year or no? In case if there is no claim made, there is nothing called a no claim bonus that the Bajaj is offering to you, to the group. And Bajaj is the only insurer who's available, who's offering a health checkup every 3 years for the policy that you buy through them. Similarly, if you look at Liberty, Liberty says I won't let anybody go in for medical screening. So is the case with Niva Bupa, and so is the case with Star Health. But Liberty, Niva, and Star are only allowing employee, spouse, and children. So when we say employee, it's not employee, it's basically the primary member, the spouse, and the children, and unmarried children again. The sum insureds for Liberty are from 3 lakhs to a tune of 1 crore. For Niva Bupa from 7.5 lakhs to 95 lakhs, and for Star Health from 5 lakhs to again 1 crore. Deductible options are higher in Liberty, where they're asking you 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, and 40 lakhs. Niva Bupa is 3, 4, 5, and 10. And Star Health is 3, 5, 10, 15, 20, and 25. The room rent again for Liberty is up to the sum insured limit, but Niva Bupa and Star Health say that they would want to only restrict it up to a single private room. And again, ICU is open for all the insurers. There is a waiting period for again all these insurance companies, but not post renewal. Daycare treatments are covered for all. Disease-wise capping is not applicable in any of the insurance companies. Yes, there is a restore benefit that is available with Liberty, but that will come with an additional cost in case if someone has exhausted their super top-up sum insured. As Bajaj was offering you a disease-wise waiting period for 12 months, Liberty says for 24 months. So does Niva Bupa, and Star is giving it at 12 months. Pre-existing diseases, waiting period was with Bajaj at 12 months. Liberty says 36 months. So does Niva Bupa say 36, and Star says 12 months. There is no copay in any of the insurance companies that you choose. Pre and post hospitalization, like Bajaj was offering 60-90. Liberty says 30-60 or 60-90. Again, if you pick and choose on 30-60, the premium could be a little slightly cheaper, or on 60-90, the premium could slightly go higher. Niva gives 60-90, and so does Star. Ambulance is covered for all these insurance companies. The renewal of the policy is a lifelong program, so you don't need to be worried about what happens if you make a claim. Liberty is offering 10% of the sum insured for every claim free year, which is a no claim bonus, to a maximum of 100% of the sum insured. So probably, say for the next 5 years that one doesn't claim, you basically get double insurance at the same cost. For Niva Bupa, It's 5% to a maximum of 50% of the sum insured, and there is no claim bonus benefit in Star Health. And none of the other three insurance companies are offering health checkup except Bajaj. This is very, very important slide for all of you to understand on how the process of flow would be. So anyone who's interested in the program, writes a mail to IIT Bombay Alumni at prudentbrokers.com, alumni@prudentbrokers.com. Prudent team will review the information, approach the insurers, post the discussion with the individual who's written to us, and give them a comparison of the coverage, the key conditions, exclusions within maximum 48 hours, along with the premium. Prudent team will assist the individual in deciding on which insurer should one be selecting based upon what kind of insurance does one already have with himself or herself. Post that, we send the entire declaration to the insurer. If the insurance company accepts the risk, they send us the payment information, which we send to the individual. The individual makes the payment and sends Prudent the confirmation. Prudent will share the same confirmation with the insurance company and ensure that the policy copy and the medical cards are issued within the number of days, maybe say 7 working days or 5 working days, or maybe 10 working days, which we will predefine with you guys, and we will send it back to your registered email ID, along with the coordinates of the claims team who would be then servicing your program in case if there is a claim. In scenario 2, the insurer would receive the same submission from Prudent and would raise a request for any additional information, like they would want to understand on the previous history of the patient or any other previous medical record. Once we send the same information to the insurer post receiving it from the individual, the insurer would then look at it and then confirm whether they're accepting the risk or not. If they're accepting the risk, we send the payment link, the payment is made, and post that the policy copy and the medical card will be issued, and we would share it with the respective individual. And in the last scenario, in case after receiving all the additional information, the insurer still feels that they do not want to underwrite the risk, then we will approach the balance 3 insurers to understand if somebody is willing to accept the risk or not. And if somebody is willing to, then the entire process of the payment and the policy issuance happens. And if not, then we would simply communicate the rejection of the proposal to the individual. Can we go to the next slide? I think, yeah, so I'm done. So I'm going to open the chats right now and see what other questions have come in so that I can help you to understand the program better. The last question that I answered was...
so Suchit, I'll help you out with it. I'll help you out. Yeah, please. So there's one question from Mr. Shailesh Vaishnavi. A group policy may better work for the members. Why not offer a group policy?
So, sir, very rightly said and very rightly asked. But again, if it's a compulsory cover for everyone, then yes, we can offer a group program, post discussions with the insurer. But if it's not going to be a compulsory cover, and if it's going to be a selection of a risk cover, right, then I don't know how many insurance companies would be willing to come and underwrite the program on voluntary basis. Because the risk rate changes for the insurance company when, say, from a 100 member, it becomes a 25 member program.
I would like to add here, Hitendra this side. So we have explored group options as well. What we found is that there are not much difference between what individual policies are offering and what group policies are offering. Another thing is that group policy follows the claim ratio. So suppose in first year there is adverse claim ratio. Next year the premium will go up. So the members who have not claimed anything, unnecessarily they will pay the extra premium because the other members have made the claim. At the same time, insurance company do have the say that whether they want to renew the policy or they don't want to renew the policy in case of group policy. But good thing about retail policy is that no insurance company can deny your renewal, and at the same time they cannot load your policy. They cannot increase the premium next year just because you have made the claim. So all those things we have we have seen, and we finally decided that retail policy is a better option to offer. So we have gone through all those decision making processes, and that's why we have come up with this retail offers for you.
Okay, I'll come to the next question asked by Ms. Varsha Bhattacharya. If I have only one primary policy, am I eligible for super top-up?
Yes, you are eligible for the super top-up.
There are a few set of questions asked by Mr. P.V. Krishnan. One is, can you have a base policy from A and super top-up from B?
Yes, you can have a base policy from A and a super top-up from B.
Next is, no medical screening irrespective of pre-existing diseases.
No, I think you missed a question, sir, from Arun Dravid.
No, I'm just completing the questions for P.V. Krishnan first.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
All right. Yes.
So the next question is, no medical screening irrespective of pre-existing diseases.
No medical screening.
Yeah, I will
Bajaj
answer.
up to 60 years. Yes, please.
Suchit, I will answer this question. So basically, as such, primary criteria for these insurance companies that they are not taking up medicals like Niva Bupa, Liberty, and Star Health, and Bajaj is taking after the age of 60 years. So let's say if there is any pre-existing disease, so these insurance company can ask for the medical reports or previous medical reports. If we won't be able to generate that, if we won't be able to if you do not have those reports, then in that case, might be these insurance company can call for medical, but that's a very rare scenario.
Okay, thank you, Kushal. And last question from Mr. P.V. Krishnan is, as per your experience, what percentage of applicants falls under the scenario 3?
So to be very honest with you, let's say if you are applying for this super top-up cover, 95% application will easily go through, and 5% will come to this criteria. And 5%, when we are talking about 5%, these will be the very, you can say, critical problems if they are having.
Okay, thank you, Kushal.
If there is some running, if there is some running claims are happening, if let's say there is some critical illnesses are happening, in that case, very difficult to get that cover.
There's one question from Mr. Arun David, which is, his present policy has a cap of 1% of the minimum policy value for the room charge. Does the super top-up policy will have a cap? If not, will it pay the unpaid room charge?
It will not pay the unpaid room charge. So this super top-up policy will only be applicable after the deductible amount. Till the deductible amount, the base policy will be activated.
Thank you, Kushal.
So I would like to bring in more light to this question, sir. It's a good question for Mr. Arun. To make it sound simple, that say for example, if my base policy is of 5 lakhs and my room rent is 1%, that means I'm eligible up to a 5,000 rupee room. If I've got admitted for say an open heart surgery and my in a 5,000 rupee room, and say my claim has gone up to say 20 lakhs also. If my super top-up has to pick that up, it'll pick it up. But if I've gone, say, I have a sum insured of 5 lakhs, but I've gone to a 10,000 rupee room, and I've had a claim of 20 lakhs, my primary policy will first of all deduct straight away 50% or say 30% in the claim, and whatever the ideal spillover of the payability amount should have been in my primary program will be picked up by my super top-up program.
The next question is from Shiva Raman. If we have a base policy and a group policy, can I take the super top-up?
Yes, you can.
Next question is from Somnan Mukherjee. Can my continuity in my base policy will waive the waiting period in this super top-up?
No, sir. No. Because your base program could be from a separate insurer, and the super top-up could be from will be from a separate insurer. So it can't be clubbed.
So I want to add one line here. So super top-up policy, which we are discussing here, is a completely independent policy. It does not depend on any of the policy you are having at this moment.
Okay. Shailesh Vaishnavi. Inflation protection of sum insured is essential over the long term. Can we add that to the policy?
So when we are talking about the inflation part, so no claim bonus is basically for that particular subject. And also, when we are deciding the sum insured initially, we should decide the sum insured by looking at a virtue of, let's say, another 15 to 20 years, so that we can have a vision on the medical inflation as well.
Can I respond to that, please?
Yes, sir, please.
Yeah, so that doesn't really answer the question. So, if I pick 1 crore, which is the highest amount right now, in about 20 years, based on inflation, it could be 25 lakhs. So it doesn't really help. There are a lot of insurers which are actually offering inflation protection in their policy. IITBAA, for example, has a reassure policy which has lifetime insurance inflation protection. So that most of the 10% or 5% cumulative bonus that they have has a capping, either 50% or 100%. That doesn't really work over the long term. It may work for 5 or 10 years, but not beyond that.
Arun Kara, is there a list of pre-existing diseases for which the policy will not be issued at all?
So this pre-existing list will vary from insurer to insurer. So upfront, we cannot provide that. Although based on the intensity of the pre-existing disease, some insurer will decide on that as well.
Pratik Agarwal has asked 2 questions. First is, does it cover for medical or injection cost too?
So usually these injection costs, when we're talking about, it comes under the OPD part. So OPD is not under these policies. So these are IPD policies.
I can clarify my question. Can I? This is Pratik, by the way.
So go on, Pratik.
Yeah. So my question is because one of my family members is suffering from cancer, and a lot of treatment is medicines, right? Like medicine that themselves are very costly, and then when you go for immunotherapy and stuff, those injections themselves cost like 6 lakhs or something. Does this offer protection against that or no?
So
I'll be very honest to you that from the medical history, if the insurance company is accepting the risk, and if they're looking at looking at what documents have been submitted to them, if they are willing to extend the cover, then yes, it will get picked up if your primary sum insured gets exhausted with the agreed deductible amount that you may have agreed with the insurance company.
So I'll just add to this. Now, if it's already a pre-existing disease,
No. The reason I'm mentioning, it's not my family, it's my family member, but not like my parents. It's someone else. So I'm saying if this were to happen to someone in my family, like my siblings, my parents, then would it cover them? They don't have any kind of cancer condition right now. But let's say 5 years from now this happens, will it cover for that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But the person needs to get hospitalized. And in the post-hospitalization treatment or during the hospitalization, whatever expenses are there and your sum insured gets exhausted, this policy will pay for it.
Okay. Thank you.
Gautam Subramani, do you provide similar services for the base insurance plan as well?
Yes, sir.
Gautam Doshi, is there a format in which we need to send us the info?
Yes, sir. We have already uploaded the info, that format on the web link. It is already there.
So on IIT, one second, Gaurav. So on
Sorry,
IIT Bombay, on IITBombay.org, I think the mail that was sent to you, if you follow the link, there's an application form. However, if you're not able to find it, please do write to us. We will forward an application form which you can fill it up and send it to IIT Bombay Alumni at prudentbrokers.com. And or any other questions that you may have to this particular email ID, and we'll have people answer to it. But any other time, I mean, you can always get in touch with our office and we'll guide you.
Fair enough. Rishabh Jain, only kids above 18 years can be covered?
No, sir. Below 18 years can also be covered. There is no problem as such on that. There are few insurer who provides separate policies for kids where proposer can be the parents. And there are few insurer which are not providing below 18 years as well. But there are options where we can provide the option below 18 years of kids as well.
Mr. Markurius has asked some questions. What if the base policy provided change or insured amount as per the base policy changes?
Sorry, sir, can you please repeat?
Yeah, sorry. What if the base policy provided change or insured amount as per base policy changes?
I'll take that question. So, for primary insurance changing, yes, some percentage on a minimum deductible or so as long as somebody else picking up the cost, say another insurance company or another individual, the super balance of.
Okay. Other question from him as well. Does super top-up policy has a cashless hospitalization option or only reimbursement claims would be settled?
So in the network hospital, it will be cashless, sir. And the network list of hospital will remain same as the base policy list for those particular insurance company. But when we are talking about non-network hospitals, it will be reimbursement.
Ajit Godke, what is the likeliness to get the super top-up cover for someone who has recovered from breast cancer 2 years ago?
Very less likely, sir. But still, we can try that with the insurance company based on the medical reports. But chances are quite less.
Okay. And the last question is from Pratik. What would be the premium cost roughly? Is there a premium calculator?
So, so what happened? Let's say if you are sending us the information, which we are providing you with the 4 options currently, and so those 4 options have all the features and along with the premium at different options as well.
Yeah, that's all. That were all the questions in the chat. We can continue with the program now.
Any has any questions? We have done it. Be as interactive as you to be, so that keep updates. You know, like.
Should I stop sharing the screen? Or
Yeah, you can. I mean, any other questions or any other comments, any other suggestions from this team? Yes, Prashant. Prashant, you have a question, you can ask. You can unmute and ask. You don't have to type. It's okay.
I am audible?
Yes, please.
Yes. So suppose cancer is covered in this policy, then I think this is not sustainable for a long time, long period, because cancer they're like this covered in the different policies. That is not normal policy.
so, the treatment of the cancer is covered under the policy if the policy has been bought before detection of the cancer.
Okay, please check with this, because what happens, this cancer and heart attack like this, they are entirely covered in different policies, not in normal policy.
So I will tell you in detail. So usually you are talking about the critical illness policies,
right?
So those policies are providing with a lump sum benefit. That policy is not providing the treatment. So health insurance policy is for the treatment of those diseases, while the critical illness policy, let's say any critical illness has been diagnosed, the entire lump sum amount of sum insured will be returned back to you, and that sum insured is basically based on the current income that you have taken.
Okay, there's one more thing in critical illness policy. You know, a critical illness should be of specific severity to get the claim from the policy. Maybe if you talk about cancer, so it has to be stage 2 cancer or stage 3 cancer, depending upon the insurance company which you choose. But in this policy, in top-up policy, super top-up policy, irrespective of whether it is at the very nascent stage or at the advanced stage, this policy will not differentiate between the stages of the cancer or that critical illness. It will straight away start paying you whatever amount you have incurred, and it will take care of that amount. It will not wait for that stage to hit and pay the claim.
So it is confirmed with the insurers. This clause is confirmed with the insurers. For insurers, they will cover treatment cost of the critical illness.
Absolutely,
sir. Yes.
Is it confirmed with?
Yes, it is, and it is confirmed. And the better part is that suppose there is a claim of critical illness this year, and suppose entire amount is exhausted. Next year, these insurance company will not deny the renewal. They will renew the policy and they will pay the the sum insured whatever is there for next year. So they will not deny the renewal of this policy, which is the good part of this policy.
Thank you. One more question: is there any loading? If any claim comes in the next, there will be loading in the premiums?
No loading. The premium will remain same. It will only depend upon the age. So suppose person move from one age bracket to another, then only there will be the higher premium. Otherwise, the premium will remain same.
Thank you very much.
Anyone
I
else?
have a question. Just
Yes,
one
please.
question.
Yep.
Yeah, in the form, you don't ask anything about your existing insured amount and so on. What I see there is, for example, if I just looked at the form, it says sum insured. Is this what you're already insured for, or what you're asking for?
No, so what you are already there for.
Already there.
Yeah.
Okay, then where do we specify what we are asking for?
No, sorry. So basically, we have mentioned what we are asking for. So usually, health insurance policies does not have basically limitation that if you already have an insurance, then we will not provide that. You can buy a separate covers. There is no problem as such. So we are asking for the current sum insured you are asking for actually.
But then suppose I don't want up to 10 lakhs. I don't want. So where do I specify that? It's not there in the form. That's why I'm asking this question.
Okay.
You were saying if you can, if you looked at the presentation, somewhere you said 3 lakhs, 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs, 25 lakhs. Where do we actually specify that in the form? There's no space, nowhere in the form you're asking.
So we will add the deductible option as well.
I think so. You should add that.
Reshare with the consulting.
I think. Yeah.
No problem. Thank you for the suggestion, sir.
No.
So there's an interesting question to Hitendra and Kushal. Are there special benefits for IITBAA members? Because these insurance are also, they also offer retail policies. Like, yeah, of course, we are giving out a retail policy only here. But what are we giving special for IITBAA members?
Ma'am, specifically to answer this question, there are two benefits. One, we have studied the market. We know which all policies are better. So we can consult you and we can guide you to opt for a better option, because there are several policies available in the market. You cannot study minutely each and every policy. We are aware of those minute details. Accordingly, we will suggest you what option is better for you. One, consulting. Two, unfortunately, if there is any claim, so Prudent team will be there to take care of all claim related issue end to end. You just need to call us and we'll provide every possible support to so that the claim processing is seamless and effortless. So that's where our value addition will come.
Hope that answers Somnath.
And we missed on one question by Mr. Arun.
Yeah.
Recurring expense analysis is incurred beyond the program. So as he rightly mentioned, that
is he breaking?
Sujit, you are breaking. Even earlier you were breaking.
Yeah, so I will just answer. I'll take it up, Suchit. Yes, it will cover. It will cover, in the super top up if your base gets exhausted.
Did we answer this on the kidney dialysis?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
It will get covered if the base policy gets exhausted.
Okay.
And, obviously it has to be a first time detection it can't be that you already have a kidney issue. You buy a super top up and then it gets, so it's the first time detection, and after that, yes.
Anything else? PV, anything else that we have missed out to ask? You would like to add something?
No, I think this is the first list of questions, and I think once the information spreads to more of the alumni, there would be more questions which keep coming up, but that will be. We have only 35. We had maximum 40 participants in today's launch. I think it will pick up momentum given time. No questions now.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments?
So you're saying that without giving personal information, you're not able to give us a calculator for the premium or anything, right? So we need to fill the form before we can have a look at the premiums. Is that what you're saying?
It's nothing like that, sir. We have all the calculators available with us. We can showcase that calculator. It's just about we are providing those options based on your demography, basically.
So Bala, the phone number and email is just to call you to find out more information that might be required to make the things. So it is not a collection of data.
We all know how that works, Lata.
Okay.
Yeah, that's okay.
Bala sir, I just wanted to confirm that our firm doesn't solicit business. We don't really work on, individual retail insurance. We are a group provider, or, provide solutions to groups. So we don't really use your number for any other purpose other than, for your specific requirement on this plan.
Well noted. Well noted. Thank you.
Yeah. So we have Pavan Pankajan. So he says, may I know, is super top-up should compulsory required base policy?
No, it is not compulsory to have a base policy while buying the super top-up policy. It is completely an independent policy. So let's say if someone knows that he can easily take on a burden of 3 to 4 lakh of claim, then he can take the deductible of 3 to 4 lakhs, and based on that he can decide the sum assured on a later stage for the later part.
So essentially, you're self-insured for that first limit. So say you have taken a super top up 5 lakhs upwards. For the first 5 lakhs, you are self-insured, and your super top up will kick in after 5 lakhs.
I have a question.
Yes.
Let's say there is a base policy, which is, for the sake of the discussion, it is 5 lakhs. And this is cashless with company A. Now, I would like to take a super top up of, let's say, 30 lakhs with company B. By virtue of the cashless on company A for the base policy, all original expense, all original cash memos, bills, hospital expenses, hospital bills, etc., would have to be submitted to company A. So what documents does company B, with whom I have the super top up, what documents do they work on? Is my question not clear?
So it is clear. So basically, you want to ask about the claim procedure happen for the super top-up policy, right?
Correct.
You already have taken a claim under the base policy and you want to avail a claim under the super top-up policy. So what type of documents you require to produce to the super top-up insurer, right?
Because all the originals have been submitted to under the base policy to insurance company A.
So in that case, usually, let's say you have a base policy of 5 lakh and there's a top-up policy of 20 lakh, I'm just assuming, and you got a claim of 10 lakh rupees, right?
Right.
So up to the 5 lakh of claim has been paid by the base policy.
And all my original documents have vanished over there.
Right. So you will get a settlement letter from the insurance company where clearly they have mentioned the amount, what has been produced under the bill, and what all are the bills they have taken into the consideration. So you'll get one settlement letter from that company.
Under the base policy.
Yes,
Under
so
the base
you
policy.
will have to keep a photocopy of all the bills you are submitting under the base policy, as well as the settlement letter, sir.
And that is all that will be required for that additional claim under the super top-up.
Yes, sir. You need to, show what are the expenses over and above the base policy and what has been settled under the base policy.
Okay. So my understanding is that the super top-up insurance company will not try and arm twist or wriggle out because I do not have any original bills, receipts to submit.
No, sir.
Fine, thank you.
I have a question. Continuing with the same example, can you please elaborate on how the room rent cap comes into picture here?
So, so say for example, your base program, your primary policy is for 5 lakhs. Okay.
Yeah.
Or if an individual has chosen an out-of-pocket expense of 5 lakhs.
Okay.
Okay. Considering the fact that a retail policy or your base policy, whatever room rent it has, the top-up policy will pay the claim, or I would say rather the spillover of the claim, considering the fact that it has been, the admission has happened in the room which is as per the base policy rules.
Okay, but if I take a, more expensive room, then the overall cost is proportional to the higher cost, right? To the room, yeah.
Yes, so that is how, sir, that is how the top-up will also behave.
So for super top-up policy, you will consider the same room rent cap as the base policy?
Correct.
Okay.
Rishabh, so answer your question as well. So we have selected the 4 insurance company which usually do not have any room rent capping. So they are providing a single standard AC room without any amount capped.
Okay. But I have a base policy which has a cap of 5,000. So they will consider that looking at the settlement letter, or they will just be acting independently without considering that room rent cap?
So again, till the base sum insured, that will be considered as a room rent capping. And after that, once the super top-up policy get triggered and super top-up policy does not have a room rent capping, then the rest of the amount that gets settled under the super top-up policy will not have any cap.
Okay.
Hope I answered your question, right?
Yeah, thank you.
So there's one more question from Somnath. Can we change the service I or the deductible on next renewal?
Yes, sir, we can change the sum insured and deductible. But again, let's say if we reduce the deductible, then the fresh underwriting will take place. But yes, the continuity benefit will be provided over there. But the underwriter, or you can say insurance company, can ask a fresh question about the health questionnaire. It's completely on the discretion of the insurance company. But we can change that sum insured and the deductible.
And we have explained this using an example in FAQ. So you can refer to FAQ also. So how, the policy will behave if you reduce the deductible or increase the sum insured. So you can please refer the FAQ. You can, understand in more detail there.
So just a follow-on question to PV Krishna's. When you have these two insurers and let's say you go to a hospital which is in the network hospital for both. So then the cashless process will work exactly the same, like how it worked with the bills.
So usually, let's say if the insurer is same, in that case,
If
usually
insurer is different,
if insurer is different, then in that case, it usually very difficult to get the cashless for both the insurance company, because cashless has very limited time frame where they need to approve all their expenditures. So usually, if they are two different insurer, very less chances that it will be treated as a cashless.
Even though the hospital is in the network hospital of both the insurers.
Absolutely, sir.
Okay.
So because one insurer has to, for example, confirm the exact liability. If the and it may be multiple billings, so it gets quite and then the patient has to wait for a long time, sir, because typically it takes a couple of hours for them to adjudicate the claim.
Anything else coming up? Okay, I think we'll keep this conversations going. You could, write to us for more questions and maybe see where we can take this. And this is just the beginning. This is just the launch. We're all around here to always be there. Any final words from you, boss, Deepak?
No.
Thank you. Thank you, Team Prudent, for helping us with everything going on with this. And thanks to all the IITBAA board members, PV Krishna, who has been extremely helpful for doing everything like, what Giri said. And look forward to meeting you all soon. And happy weekend. Anything else, please do get in touch.
Thank you, everyone. You have a good evening.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.